Any average viewer who comes across Gumball might just think it's a kid show. Wrong! This show has done things no other cartoon would even dare to try. With episodes so wild, they made fun of governments, roasted entire countries, even touched on some pretty sensitive stuff, and so much more. So today we're diving into 6 Gumball episodes that almost got banned, starting with the gripes. A lot of people said this episode was promoting bad parenting, so this is going to be insane. The episode begins with Gumball waking up to his alarm playing a catchy song.
Really like this song.
He starts dancing, but also complains that he wants to sleep. Darwin turns the alarm off, but when Gumball whines that he liked the song, Darwin turns it back on, only for Gumball to complain again. Yeah. It's one of those mornings. Throughout breakfast, Gumball just won't stop complaining about the food, the weather, life itself, until Darwin finally gives up and joins in. Meanwhile, Richard notices Gumball's attitude and asks Anais for advice. She sarcastically suggests buying him something new to complain about, but Richard, being Richard, takes it seriously. Sarcasm is hard to understand it. It's not like Richard is dumb or something. Now, fully in grumpy old man mode, Gumball and Darwin go outside and start loudly ranting about everything. But instead of ignoring them, the people of Elmore assume they're struggling and start donating food, clothes, and even money. Gumball and Darwin try to tell them they're not actually suffering, but no one listens! Imagine whining so much that people just start throwing charity at you. Oh, that's have to be sucks. Meanwhile, Anais is still at the store trying and failing to teach Richard sarcasm. Spoiler, it's not working. Back home, Gumball and Darwin decide to trash the house to make it look even worse, like rats, skunks, and cockroaches levels of bad. But instead of scaring people away, Elmore citizens show up and give them a paycheck. Yep. They literally got paid for complaining. Oh man, I hope I was living in Elmore. Nicole comes home, sees the disaster, and immediately loses it. Richard and Anais arrive just in time for the town to turn on him. But Gumball clears things up, and the family awkwardly walks inside with the paycheck.
Anyway, thanks for the check. Bye.
This episode made a joke out of manipulating kindness, basically saying, complain enough and people will throw money at you, making generous people look dumb. Instead of being funny, it came off as insensitive, making viewers question, did the show cross the line?
You're such a brave soul.
The episode number 5 was so wild, it actually got banned from airing in the Middle East. And honestly, you will clap for that decision. Let's dive into it. The episode begins with Jamie storming into the school cafeteria, but instead of stealing food, she suddenly realizes something.
I need a sweetheart.
She needs a boyfriend, and just like that, she picks Darwin. No asking, no choice, just boom, he's hers now. At home, Gumball is freaking out, but Darwin doesn't see the problem. Gumball tries to help him escape, but Jamie isn't playing games. She shoves Gumball into a locker, threatens Darwin, and even gives him a gift, which turns out to be a trap. She takes it back, finds perfume inside, and assumes Darwin is calling her smelly. So naturally, she starts destroying Gumball's locker, with him still inside. Then in the cafeteria, Jamie starts feeding Darwin with Gumball's food. Gumball tries to confuse her by asking why coconuts aren't mammals. Yes, this actually happens. And somehow this actually distracts her for a second. But when she figures out the answer, they don't have nipples. She just gets mad again. Things get worse when Sarah says, "Hey guys," to Darwin. Jamie immediately accuses him of cheating and goes full gorilla mode, throwing a trash can at Sarah and chasing her around the school. Then Richard, Gumball, and Darwin's dad gets involved. When he finds out Darwin is dating Jamie, he makes the weirdest faces, like his brain just shut down. Jamie thinks he disapproves, so she beats him with gym equipment. Later, she tapes the entire school staff to the lockers as an apology. But the worst part? Jamie decides she's not just dating Darwin anymore, she's dating Gumball too! Now, both brothers are trapped. She stalks Gumball all over school until, out of nowhere, she has an epiphany. She realizes love can't be forced, it has to be earned. Growth? Maybe? But when Darwin repeats this, Jamie takes it as an insult and knocks knocks him out cold. The episode ends with Darwin in the infirmary, while Gumball pats his head like, dude, you should have just stayed quiet. This episode got banned in multiple countries, not just the Middle East. Jamie's aggressive behavior, kidnapping, and forced relationship were seen as promoting unhealthy dynamics. Some networks thought it went too far for a kids show, so they banned it. But what do you think? Did this episode really go too far? But of course, not as far as episode number 4, which made fun of the entire banking system, the police, the government. Let's dive into it. Richard, being Richard, buys a motorcycle helmet he can't take off. Then he walks into a bank, thinks it's a fast food place, and unknowingly demands everything you have. Instead of questioning why a grown man in a helmet is ordering food at a bank, Larry and the cupcake guy just panic and hand him bags of cash. Because, you know, why call security when you can just give away millions instead? The cops arrive and it turns into a whole mess. One of the witnesses, a cupcake, goes full hero mode and frames Larry for helping Richard because snitching is apparently his thing. Meanwhile, the Wattersons find out about the situation, and Nicole, being the loving wife she is, doesn't worry about Richard. Nope. She just wants to kill him when Richard finally gets home. She karate chops the helmet off and informs him that he just stole $2 million. The Wattersons try to return the money, but Richard panics when he hears the legal consequences and runs for it. This leads to a series of ridiculous plans, including plan number 1. Nicole sneaking into the bank in a box, which ends with her almost fleeing to an island with the money. Plan number 2. Gumball shoving the money back into an ATM, like literally shoving cash up the slot. That's not how banks work, buddy. Plan number 3. Aeneas getting a job at the bank to slowly return the money, but realizing it would take 5,000 years. Plan number 4. Richard planning to bury the cash, get arrested, and escape after 20 years, by which time his sentence would already be over. None of these work, so Darwin finally just walks into the bank and returns the money like a normal person. Problem solved, right? Nope. The cops think the suitcase is suspicious and blow it up in a controlled explosion. The family just stands there, watching $2 million burn into ashes. Gumball sums it up perfectly.
Well, we tried.
This episode pushed boundaries because it made fun of bank systems, police, crime, and even joked about money laundering. It's the kind of humor that made Gumball great, but also the kind of that might have gotten the show in trouble. Oh, if you think that episode was rough, the episode number 3 straight up hurts feelings. A lot. Richard is acting weird. He's staring at the fridge like it's a math problem, trying to figure out where the salad is. Yeah, as if he's ever looked for that before. Turns out he's on a diet. Gumball and Darwin are actually impressed until they realize Richard's idea of a diet is just piling different foods onto separate plates and calling it healthy eating. The next morning, Richard somehow looks bigger than before. Gumball and Darwin are so confused they try to call him out, but he insists he's losing weight. Yet, the fridge keeps getting emptied overnight. Suspicious. When they ask where the food is going, Richard panics and quickly orders groceries online, but he gets impatient and decides to go to the store instead, only to realize he's too big to fit in his car. He tries buckling his seatbelt, and the whole car flips over. Okay, new plan. Gumball and Darwin lock Richard in the shed to stop him from sneaking food. Darwin watches outside while Gumball checks the security cameras, but suddenly, Richard's gone. Darwin looks up and boom! Richard is literally on the ceiling, drooling on him. Nightmare fuel. He escapes, immediately raids the fridge, and it's back to square one. So the kids try a different approach, exercise. They dangle food in front of him like a carrot on a stick, except, you know, actual junk food. It works too well. After a dramatic workout montage, Richard becomes insanely ripped, and now he's a problem. He starts picking fights in public, flexing in people's faces, stealing ambulance tires to use as weights, and even ruins Alan's wish for world peace by snatching his coin from the fountain. Nice going, Richard. But the worst part? There's a fire in Elmore, and Richard, rather than helping, starts posing for the cameras. The donut cop tries to tase him, but it just makes his ABS more shredded. Finally, Gumball and Darwin know what to do. They remind Richard of food. The second he notices all the delicious snacks in the crowd, he completely forgets about being a gym bro, stumbles back, and accidentally knocks over a fire hydrant, which puts out the fire. So, technically, he saved the day. Richard realizes he went too far, apologizes, and immediately takes the kids out for a giant meal. So much for that diet. This episode upset people by joking about weight struggles. It made fun of overweight people failing diets and skinny people being weak. The jokes went too far, hurting some feelings and nearly getting Gumball in trouble. Making fun of weight struggles is nothing compared to episode number 2. This episode was insane, and honestly, Richard might be the worst dad ever. So it's the first day of school, everyone's on the bus, everything seems normal until someone realizes, wait, where the heck are Gumball and Darwin? Cut to Richard, waking up super late and realizing he forgot to take the kids to school. No big deal, right? Just go grab them? Nope. He has no idea where they are. He starts retracing his steps like some kind of detective, except his only clue is his own stupidity. First, he thinks he left them in the car. Wrong car. Then he remembers, oh yeah, he actually left them in a ball pit at the mall. Sounds fine, right? Wrong! The whole ball pit got shipped to another country. I'm not even joking. Richard goes full action movie, chasing a truck down the highway, jumping between cars, and somehow he ends up at the harbor. And instead of, opening the shipping crate like a normal person, Richard steals a truck, throws the whole crate on the back, and drives straight through buildings just to get back to the school. Finally, boom! The crate explodes open, launching thousands of plastic balls, plus his kids, all over the school parking lot, right as Nicole shows up. The kids just sit there, completely confused, while Darwin casually spits out a ball. And honestly, Richard destroyed half the town, committed multiple crimes, and somehow nobody questioned it. Cartoon Network was lucky they got away with this one. But the episode in the number 1 spot? This was the wildest. It almost started a war with China and roasted an entire show. The episode begins at the supermarket, where Gumball and Darwin are messing around in the exotic food section, but things get weird fast when 2 kids who look exactly like them, Chi-Chi and Ribbit, start copying everything they do. It's not just a one-time thing. These guys are straight up imitating them. Back home, Gumball and Darwin complain about it, but their parents don't take it seriously until they see an entire copycat family driving next to them, mimicking their every move. They crash their car in shock, while the doppelgangers drive off like nothing happened. Gumball digs deeper and finds out these knockoffs aren't just copying them. They've got a whole TV show in China, literally stealing the Watterson family's lives and making tons of money from it. And just to rub salt in the wound, they even have a website with terrible translations that make Anais irrelevant. Gumball realizes the copycat family has been spying on them the whole time. Fed up with the copying, the Wattersons storm outside to confront them. What starts as a simple argument turns into a total fight. The Wattersons throw punches, but their copycats dodge and hit back the exact same way. It's like fighting their own reflections. No one can win, and it's driving them crazy. Anais suggests that maybe they just need some guidance, so they try to inspire them to be original by singing a song, but guess what? The copycats just copy that too. At this point, the Wattersons are done playing nice. They figure if the copycats copy everything, then they'll take things to the extreme, living recklessly to force them into danger. But no matter what insane stunts they pull, the copycats survive, so they take it even further, speeding towards a broken bridge with a flaming gasoline trail behind them. At the last second, Anais unhooks the fuel tank, saving her family. But the copycats? They don't have an Anais to save them. Their truck plummets off the bridge in a fiery explosion. The next day, all traces of the copycats disappear from the internet. It's like they never existed. Gumball and Darwin celebrate until they glitch out. This episode was hilarious, but Cartoon Network was playing with fire. The copycats didn't just make fun of knockoff shows, they straight up roasted a real Chinese ripoff called Miraculous Cycle, and calling out another country's show on an international network? Yeah, that's risky. Cartoon Network could have faced legal trouble, bans, or even been pulled from China's TV market. Big networks don't mess with international audiences. So if this had gone bad, Gumball might have been canceled for real. They got lucky. But this was as close as it gets to disaster.